Germany, the lead singer of the popular rock band Rammstein is facing allegations of sexual misconduct.
I want to deconstruct and break down this stuff because if you just watch it without being critical of it and you just kind of take it in, it's so easy for them to build up this narrative. Like, you have to actually watch media critically to see what they're really trying to do, or what the assumptions that they're making.
Several women have told
happened at a concert.
I had the feeling I couldn't say anything, that it hurt, or that I didn't want to, or that it's too much. I just couldn't speak. I was just too shocked.
I don't know what any of that means. And I'm going to assume that some of that is an issue with the translation, but I have yet to read or hear from this woman anything that really is like a coherent story. She said, I had the feeling that. What does that mean? Of course, some of you who've been through this with the Marilyn Manson thing, Marilyn Manson had 4 different women claiming repressed memories in their 20s. 4 different women literally claiming in their lawsuits against him, which were all bullshit, literally claiming that, well, when they were in their 20s, they had these traumatic experiences with Marilyn Manson and they completely psychologically blocked it, didn't remember any of it until years later when Evan Rachel Wood got this hoax trumped up and got them into a documentary and on Rolling Stone magazine and People magazine and all of that. That's how, by the way, that's how Evan recruited a lot of these people. She got them all hooked up with media stuff. So like Rolling Stone articles, cover of People magazine, went on American International TV, all of that. Not to mention the lawsuits. Maybe Rammstein has that in their future. I hope not. My God. But anyway, so that's what I want to say about this. Ridiculous. Keep going.
Female fans were allegedly supplied with tickets and backstage access to encourage them to have sex with singer Till Lindemann. That's according to research by German media organizations.
Okay.
Multiple young women.
Several things I don't like there. First of all, that's according to research by German media. Yeah. Well, German media, that's a lot of different media. What specifically? Whose research? Because I haven't seen good research. So who are you citing? But of course, they don't have to say that. They don't even want to do the work themselves. Do you know what they're actually saying there? They're saying, like, we didn't want to do the work, and there's these different German people digging up shit and telling us what to think. And then it says that several women were given tickets and backstage passes. I thought that we called those people like groupies for the last 30 years or whatever. Like what is this? They're trying to take things that are very normal and that everyone has always accepted as normal and now reframe it as basically human trafficking. I'm sorry, Rammstein, I hate to put this out there, but you better prepare yourselves. That's probably in your future at some point too. Allegations of trafficking. I'm sorry, but that's what's been going on in the States. I don't know, maybe if this stuff hasn't hit Germany yet and this is new, or have you, I'm curious, you Germans, and I guess maybe Europeans in general, but Germans, have you been having a lot of Me Too stuff, or is this kind of new for you? Because we've been having this shit going on for years in the States now. But I know, I agree with you. Rebel Bird says, look, groupies are groupies because they want to, the band, they're not a bunch of naive innocent. I know. And ladies, by the way, it seems like it's the media slut-shaming you. And it seems like it's these feminists who are slut-shaming you by telling you there's something wrong with you if you want to have sex with Till Lindemann. You know, it's like this reverse slut-shaming that's going on now, that people are trying to dictate to other people what kind of sex they should be having and whom they should be having it with and what should be going on at rock concerts. Somebody says they have had a lot. Okay, thanks. We've had a lot of Me Too stuff, yeah. Okay, let's keep going. Sorry.
Say they were asked for photos in online chat groups or at concerts.
And I just want to say something here too, and I've said this before. Let's say, from my research that I've done and people I've talked to, I do not think that the Rosie thing and the party thing was all about supplying Till Lindemann with sexual possibilities. But of course, that's naturally going to be part of it. Why would the rock star be hanging around with with women in general if there's not some kind of like flirting or maybe sexual interest or maybe getting something hooked up for like that's not sinister. It is not. They're making it sound like it's some kind of like a mafia or cartel. In fact, German news media, one article even called them the mafia, a criminal mafia organization. No, we're talking about pretty girls getting invited to something where they can hang around, these wealthy, influential superstars, and like both parties want it, both parties enjoy it. They're saying, oh my God, they gave tickets and backstage passes to pretty women. That is not a crime. I do think that there was a lot more going on here than just supplying Till with people. But let's say worst case scenario, just for hypothetical argument. Let's say worst case scenario is that the only reason that they do these parties is so Till can be around pretty women. If he's not drugging them, and he's not, because we have no evidence of that, loony Shelby. And if he's not assaulting them, and he's not, because we have no evidence of that either, then what is the problem? What is the problem? I understand that there are some fans, maybe some, ugly fans or male fans that get pissed that they're not invited to go to row zero. That's, by the way, I saw a bunch of that on Reddit. I saw a bunch of supposed Rammstein fans complaining about the pretty women being in row zero and the pretty women being overrepresented at these parties. I did see men at the parties I was at, but pretty women being overrepresented at these parties, complaining that Rammstein has let down their male fans. What about letting the men into the parties more? Maybe the men want to be on Rosie. Oh, shut the fuck up, please, please. How can you be a Rammstein fan if you're such a whiny ass? Give me a break. Give me a break. All right, moving on.
These photos were evaluated and led to invitations and allegedly to offers of alcohol and drugs. One woman says there was a whole recruitment system at work.
They just manipulate the girls so they keep coming to concerts. They keep bringing in new girls. They try to make sure no one says anything, that no one gets the idea anything's wrong with it.
Rammstein and Till Lindemann have not responded to the new allegations. The band earlier denied accusations that Lindemann used knockout drugs
she loves
in
getting her
another
time.
concert-related sexual encounter.
All right.
After
the story. Welcome.
I know these people are horrible. I know they're tedious. I know they probably want to make you blow your brains out or whatever. But I want to look at this because the stuff that they say, and they say it in such a civilized way, and it just kind of rolls off the tongue. Oh, we're very educated. We know all about gender dynamics. We know all about how everyone should behave at rock concerts. So, yeah, but actually listen to what they're saying. There's a lot of bullshit there.
Welcome to DW. Tell us, what triggered your investigation?
So we started digging into these accusations after a fan named Shelby L reported on social media last weekend that what she claims to have happened to her last week at a Rammstein concert in Vilnius, Lithuania. She voiced her suspicion that she may have been giving alcohol with the drug at a party before the show, and that she had been specifically chosen for a meetup with the musician, and that the singer had offered her alcohol and assumed that she wanted to have sex with him during a concert break, which she refused, and she claims that then the singer became very aggressive.
Okay, I don't like this. This really bothered me. Look, I don't know how it is in Europe or in Germany or whatever, but the word aggressive over here in America, that has almost a violent connotation to it. Yeah, you could say someone is verbally aggressive, but when you say she got really aggressive, what that's going to make me think of is some kind of physical something going on. That is not what Shelby said. When Shelby came out and she was like, May, he wanted to talk to May. She said he got so angry. He got so angry. Okay? Anger, frustration, different from aggression, right? One is, okay, I'm angry. I could be angry just kind of over here in my corner, right? Like you piss me off and I'm just sitting over here angry. But aggression is me getting out of my corner and coming at you. So this language, not good. Not good here. It's BS. BS. Thank you so much for this. And by the way, people have asked me, I'm just looking at the comment about Spanish speaking and visually impaired and stuff, but people have asked me, they want subtitles and they want, You can subtitle the shit out of my stuff. You have to tell me how to do it though, because I've looked into it and it looks like I have to actually find someone to do the subtitles. Now I know YouTube eventually, if a video is on long enough, then it'll start doing the like closed captions. But in terms of like translation and stuff, I can't, there's nothing that I can hit and it just translates. So for the people who want subtitles, you do it and you give them to me and you tell me how to put them up, because I don't have time. I have no time. So sorry. Okay, moving on. Keep going with this.
She says she then has experienced multiple memory lapses. And this triggered numerous women to come forward on social media with similar allegations. And we wanted to know what was behind all of that.
Right. And are the facts now absolutely clear? Because some Rammstein fans have questioned what some of the women have said.
Okay, I hate this. Oh, I hate this.
We can't really speak to Shelby L's allegations since we did not have the chance to unravel it.
Do y'all know what I hate? Do you want to guess what I hate? But some Rammstein fans don't believe you. It's not just Rammstein fans, idiot. They did this. Oh, y'all, they did this with we Marilyn Manson supporters. I have been for 2 years now. I have been covering the Marilyn Manson hoax for almost 2.5 years. And do you know what the biggest weapon that my opponents try to use against me is? They try to claim that I was this rabid Marilyn Manson fan before I got involved in this, even though I wasn't. And they try to claim I was this rabid fan, and that for that reason I'm just biased. And they're going to do it to you too. They're going to do it to you too. You watch going forward. Anytime you try to defend these guys, they're going to focus on the fact that you're rabid fans. Rabid fans. I hate that. Because it's dismissive. You know what he could have said? Well, he could have just left it saying, well, there are some people who doubt this, or some people take issue with this, or is there another perspective on this? But instead he said, well, there's some fans. That is an attempt to totally dismiss. And they did this to Johnny Depp too. How many Johnny Depp fans do I have in the chat? Y'all know how many years have they been attacking you and dismissing you as crazy fans? Even now. You just want to fuck Johnny Depp. I've had people tell me that I'm trying to become Marilyn Manson's wife. I've had people think that I've been groomed. I found out that some of Marilyn Manson's haters online literally think that his wife, that he and his wife are grooming me. How the hell a 42-year-old woman can be groomed? I don't know. But they think everyone's a child now, you know? So, I mean, there's some feminists who would probably argue that I'm somehow underage if I'm dating an older guy. She's dating Al Pacino. Oh my God, literally a teenager. Okay, sorry, I digress. Let's continue.
Also, the Lithuanian police, which we have
just a little here.
Shelby L's allegations.
Questioned what some of the women have said.
Yeah, we can't really speak to Shelby L's allegations since we did not have the chance to unravel it. And also the Lithuanian police, which we have contacted, is not willing to reveal more information. However,
I like how she just kind of slides over Shelby. You know, she's like, well, we can't really speak to that crazy lunatic. We can't really speak to those allegations. Yeah, just slide right over that. Just slide right over the person who instigated this entire ridiculous circus. Just slide right over it. We can't really speak to that raving lunatic. Completely non-credible lunatic.
We spoke with more than a dozen of women who have leveled similar accusation against Rammstein lead singer Till Lindemann.
Well, Shelby was full of shit and her story made no sense. And so if you're telling me that these other 12 women that you interviewed were similar to Shelby, then I've got big issues with you right off the bat, lady. Big issues. All right.
They provide an account of numerous young women apparently being recruited to have sex with him. And 2 women also spoke of sexual activities to which they had not agreed. And several of these women have made their statements as statutory declarations and
she said, and then 2 women also spoke to situations that they had not consented. No. One of those women said that she never said no, but that she found it uncomfortable. And then afterward, she felt like there were some power relations issues. So no, you've only got 1 now. Okay. Because one of those, So now you've got 1. And it was that one who had this kind of vague, nebulous, kind of weird story about waking up. And I'm according to my memories, this or that I did. And it's going to take more than 1. I'm sorry. It's going to take it's going to take evidence. It's going to take evidence. I understand that assault is often a he said, she said thing, but that doesn't mean that we just believe women then. Yes, it's difficult to prove. And yes, a lot of men are going to get away because it is difficult to prove, but that doesn't mean that now we have free reign and free license to go after men and cancel them or hurt them or whatever without evidence. You know, I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face, and this is just for my new viewers who haven't heard me say it, but there's that very famous quote by William Blackstone that I love. It is better that 10, you can finish it, right? It is better that 10 guilty men go free than one innocent man be imprisoned or be persecuted or whatever, right? Okay, keep going.
We have reviewed screenshots from WhatsApp and Instagram chats, as well as other witness testimonies, which substantiate the women's claims.
Right. So there's clearly what appears to be a criminal element there if you're looking at issues of coercion or consent, but also there's just a distasteful element there of people being recruited.
Oh, God. Okay. So I have to tell you, if you're new to this game, you better get used to the coercion word, because this Me Too crowd and the media, this is a word that they love to use, coercion, when they can't quite say that someone actually assaulted someone or that someone actually like broke a law or forced someone or whatever. Then it's this coercion thing. And notice how he links it to criminality. He says, well, there's clearly a criminal element here. What? There is? Well, then why aren't the police coming in and arresting them? Why aren't they dragging Lindemann off the stage last night? You know, it seems like from what Ms. Shelby has said, the police figured out pretty early on this was bullshit. And they're just like, this gets crazy lady. God. She was like, oh, the police aren't doing anything. They aren't taking it seriously. I've tried to talk to the Lithuanian police. They say there's nothing they can do. And then that shifted to, I was on the phone for 5 hours. Yeah, I'm sure you were. I'm sure after you've gotten everybody all whipped up over this shit, the police are probably catching heat and they're like, oh God, we have to make it look like we think this is legit. Let's talk to her for hours. Oh God. And so he says it's a criminal thing. It's obviously a criminal thing. And then he uses that word coercion. You know what coercion means, right? It just means talking someone into something. Now, yes, there are criminal forms of coercion, which would be blackmail for one thing. So if I tell you that if you don't have sex with me, I'm going to spread revenge porn, or I'm going to go kill your mother or whatever, then yes, when you have sex with me, that is unlawful because I've coerced you. But they're using this word now. This word is expanding beyond that very limited legal definition now to refer to any kind of psychological manipulation whatsoever. And so there are a lot of people now who would say that just by virtue of the fact that Till Lindemann is such a powerful, wealthy man, that basically every interaction that he has with a woman who is beneath him in stature is coercive. In fact, that is what a lot of feminists think. In fact, that is what a lot of them say. And there are a lot of Me Too activists who will tell you that very thing, that even when an actual physical assault does not occur, or an assault does not occur under threat, that even entirely consensual sexual activity can actually be coerced if the person was not as wealthy or was younger or was manipulated in some way. So what they're saying is that basically Rammstein, Till Lindemann, they were manipulating these women by giving them cool stuff like backstage passes and parties and whatever, but that there was a coercive element, and that's how they can then shift it into this assault bullshit, or this insinuations of assault. It's very, very scary. It is very Orwellian. It is very Orwellian. Those of you who've read Orwell, it is very Orwellian, the way that the language is being intentionally molded and manipulated here to broaden the scope of violations for which we can trap guys in this Me Too net. And again, if anybody in Rammstein happens to see this, I don't know, I don't know if anyone's actually watching. I have a feeling they probably watched, some of them probably watched the interview that I did with that woman, with the witness who was there. It's a great video. Thank you for that, by the way. But if anyone is watching from the band, I mean, I just want you to understand, like, this is not a simple thing that you're in. And these people are playing, they may not even be aware of it, but they're playing some complicated chess here. And this coercion thing is part of it. They are going to try to find any way they can to pin stuff on you. And it doesn't have to be flat out assault anymore. It can be, oh, he talked me into it. Or I felt like he was powerful. Or he gave me those tickets. Sad. It is sad. Okay.
For sex. Is the allegation that these women who were recruited systematically, allegedly, for sex, is there any hint there of coercion or lack of consent?
Is there any hint?
Yes, that's what we believe. We believe that
we just need a hint, mind you. We don't need much. He's basically like saying, like, come on, just give me something so I can say these guys are fucking rapists. Come on. I just need a hint. I just need like a hint. I just need like it's like when you're cooking, you know, just a dash of salt. I just need a dash of coercion, please.
Or it comes apparent to us that, you know, many women consented to these parties, and they also may have wanted to have sex with Till Lindemann, and this is fine. I mean, these are not, you know, we are not interested in non-coercive sexual relationships. That, you know, it's privacy.
Sure, you aren't. You see how she can barely even spit that out? She hates it that women want to have sex with Till Lindemann. It's not good for her politics. She thinks it's gross. She's like, it's fine. I mean, if people, I guess if they want to have sex with that disgusting, you know, boorish man over 60, it's fine. I mean, we're not against consensual activity. Yes, of course you are. Of course you are. And that's why you're trying so hard to take consensual stuff and shoehorn it into this bullshit non-consensual definition. That she gives herself away there. The lady doth protest too much. She's trying to say, oh no, we don't have a problem with wild stuff going on at rock concerts. We don't have a problem with women wanting to have sex with the rock stars. We don't have a problem with anything consensual. But the way she's behaving, the way she can barely get the words out, it really betrays her. In fact, it's exactly the opposite. Exactly the opposite. They hate people like her. And you say, you don't know this woman. I don't have to know her, honestly, because pretty much 90% of the journalists now, if not more, who are ensconced in these big media positions, they're on the same page ideologically. And let me just tell you, this woman is lying to you when she tells you that she doesn't hate consensual stuff going on with this band. She hates it. She thinks it's wrong. She thinks it's got power imbalances. She thinks these young, poor little groupies, they don't know what they're doing. And this big, bad man with his pornos. That's exactly what she thinks. Exactly. Not even gonna believe that.
Private, you know, the private business. But it becomes apparent to us that it's exactly like the way you say that the system was designed to coerce these women into doing things that some of them were not prepared to do.
Right. Rock and roll, of course, has this long history and image of excess, including groupies and sex, drugs and alcohol. Do you think that legend now needs to be reconsidered?
I mean, indeed, excess was part and is part of this business, and it's perfectly fine if everybody consents. But I think it was about time that the Me Too movement reached the music industry, and I think what we're seeing now is just the beginning or the tip of the iceberg.
Good talking to you. Thank you so much.
I just think that's horrifying. Absolutely, absolutely horrifying. Just the tip of the iceberg. So again, rock stars out there, you know, it's not just going to be Rammstein. It's not just going to be Manson. Like they're coming for many more. And the less resistance they receive when they come for these quote unquote bad guys, you know, or these more extreme artists, they're just then the more encouraged they're going to be. Just keep moving in, just keep encroaching. To me, it's shocking to hear them say that, and just so casually too. It's kind of like the whole Hannah Arendt banality of evil thing. It's like, oh yeah, you know, we're gonna go after all the rock stars. Yes. Anyway, okay.